In August 2025, the Menendez brothers returned to public attention as California parole hearings placed their decades-old case back under scrutiny. Erik Menendez, now 54, appeared before the parole board on August 21st in a session that stretched nearly 10 hours. The board denied his release, pointing not only to the brutal nature of the 1989 killings of his parents, but also to his conduct during incarceration. Commissioner Robert Barton explained that Erik's record of drug smuggling, illicit cell phone use, and alleged involvement in a tax fraud scheme indicated a continuing risk to society. He acknowledged Erik's efforts at mentoring inmates and participating in rehabilitation programs, but concluded that his violations outweighed those positives. He emphasized that the murder of Erik's mother was devoid of human compassion, and that under legal standards, Erik still posed an unreasonable risk. The decision sent shockwaves through the Menendez family. Erik's wife Tammy accused the hearing of being rigged from the beginning, saying that the commissioner never intended to grant parole. His stepdaughter Talia asked publicly how her father could possibly still be seen as a threat to society, describing the process as torture for the family. Yet amid the outrage, other relatives urged perspective, noting that very few inmates succeed on their first parole attempt. Cousin Anna Maria Baralt pointed out that being eligible again in 3 years, rather than a longer wait, was at least a modest step forward. The following day, Lyle Menendez, now 57, faced the same parole board. Legal experts were skeptical that his outcome would differ much from his younger brothers, since both men were convicted in the same case and had spent nearly identical decades in prison. Some believed it would be unjust if one brother were granted parole and not the other. The family themselves quietly admitted they were preparing for neither of them to be released, though they continue to hope for a different result in Lyle's case. The Menendez story has been one of the most polarizing legal sagas in modern American history. Back in 1989, the brothers shot their parents Jose and Kitty in their Beverly Hills home. At trial, they claimed they had been subjected to years of sexual and emotional abuse by their father. Prosecutors countered that the motive was greed, pointing to the brothers' lavish spending after murders. In 1996, both were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. For decades, they seemed destined to die in prison. But in 2023, a habeas corpus petition revived their hopes, introducing new evidence, including a letter written by Erik in 1988 describing alleged abuse and testimony from former Menudo singer Roy Rossello accusing Jose Menendez of molestation. A judge reduced their sentences in May 2025 to 50 years to life, making them eligible for parole for the first time. Public perception has shifted over time as new abuse claims surfaced and as Netflix dramatizations renewed interest in the case. Supporters argue that the brothers were victims acting under years of trauma, while critics maintain they executed their parents in cold blood. The parole hearings have now become a new battleground between those narratives. The board's ruling suggests that rehabilitation inside prison, while acknowledged, cannot outweigh missteps in custody or the severity of crime itself. The Menendez brothers' legal team still has avenues open, including the ongoing habeas petition and the possibility of clemency from Governor Gavin Newsom. Yet the immediate result is sobering. Erik must wait 3 more years before he can reapply, and Lyle's fate remains in the balance. For the brothers and their supporters, this moment is another reminder of how fragile hope can be after decades behind bars. Their saga reflects the enduring tension between punishment and redemption, between the legal way to murder and the evolving conversation around abuse and trauma. Whether their future holds release, continued confinement, or eventual clemency remains uncertain. But what is clear is that more than 3 decades after the crime, the Menendez case still grips the public imagination and continues to test the boundaries of justice and forgiveness.